Oh, right, guys. Today we are gonna be reacting to Just Pearly Things. This video right here, guys. I saw the video already, and I wanted to just give some information here. Pearly Things say some good stuff here that it just need to be heard, and it just go to the deeper reasons why feminists are acting the way they are today. Let's jump in.
I want to talk about a woman that I knew when I was in school. So this woman was somebody that I was a transfer. So I went to one school and then I transferred to another school to play volleyball. And this woman had a particular type. And everyone knew on the team what her type was, because anytime she would go on a date with a guy, talk to a guy, have a boyfriend, he would always look a certain way. Now, around my senior year, she dated a guy that looked nothing like the men that she dated in the past. Had a completely different look. So they were dating. He was nice enough. I met him a couple times. And one of the most red-pilling moments was I was at it's like a day party, Darties. I don't know. If you guys have been to school, you already know. Where everyone during the day, they go out, have drinks, and I think it was homecoming or something like that. Now, this woman ends up cheating on her boyfriend with one of her ex-boyfriends at that party. And this to me signaled that she was dating a man that she wasn't really attracted to. However, many women have the issue that their type doesn't stay for long-term commitment. So I wanted to go through a couple TikToks where women kind of talk about this dilemma, or I wanted to show a TikTok, because a lot of times you guys say, Pearl, you're just making this stuff up. So she says, having to say goodbye to my type because I'm trying to get married. So what does this mean? As you know, women, we are hypergamous. So, and dating app data shows this. There's two data points that you can find that we date a small percentage of men, and that we on some level are designed to share men. One is that we have more than twice as many female ancestors as we have male ancestors. I want to say 3,000 years ago, it was 8 women to 1 man. The second data point is dating apps. It shows we only swipe right between 5 to 20% of the time. If you want to be super generous, we can give 30%, but in general, that's the #1 way people are meeting in 2024. A lot of people will say that dating apps aren't real life, and I do agree with that. But if we're going to look at marriage results today, according to jewelers and people that are selling engagement rings, apparently Hinge is the #1 app that people are getting married on. And even on Hinge, we're sharing men. Essentially what you get, the men that get all the women, so these are like 8s, 9s, and 10s. These are the rest. So these are the men that are invisible to women. These are the men that tend to get relationships, but they don't get hookups, or they're not selected for hookups. And then the top men are the ones that are hooking up with everybody, right? This makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
Listen, guys.
But you can go on TikTok and find.
Listen, you guys have to listen. She's gonna get to a point that's so important, and I think Rollo Tomasi mentioned this as well. But I just want her to just finish.
Women confirming this. And like a lot of women, they just use TikTok as their diary. So you can go on TikTok and literally find women confirming this. Or you can take dating app data. Or the third data point is that there are twice as many women in relationships as men. So either option A, women are dating significantly older, or sorry, under 30. A third of men are virgins or haven't had sex in the past year. And there are twice as many women in relationships as men. So that tells us either women are dating significantly older, that's a possibility, but to me, what would be more likely is that women are sharing men, because we've always done that throughout all of history, and it would be rational to me to think that we would do that today. Now, a lot of times, conservatives, we look at the 1950s as this golden era, or the 1920s, and I think this is, and I've done this before, but I think this is a common trope where we romanticize the past. And we think that there was some golden era or golden age where it was just so amazing to be alive. The way that I view it is that each generation has a different set of problems. So instead of going into World War I or World War II, our generation just has a hard time with relationships. And what we found out is the last 100 years, women have fought very, very hard to not have to be with men they are not attracted to. To me, this is what feminism is at its core. Because when you look at feminist writings, generally what they're fighting for is reproductive freedom on some level. Margaret Sanger, most of her writings are about getting on the pill, access to abortion. So what is abortion on a root level? It's women saying, I do not want to reproduce with men that I do not deem fit. Then we got no fault divorce. And what is that saying? What are women saying in that? I do not want to stay with a man that I am not attracted to or that I do not like. And unfortunately, what we found out in the last 100 years is that when we are given the freedom to do anything we want, most women do not like most men that much. And people kind of get on me for saying this, but every data point is going to tell you that that is true. You gave women the freedom to do anything, and they are more likely to pick sex work in their youth than they are marriage. What does that tell you? Okay, so this isn't a happy truth. This isn't because a lot of times when I talk, people think I'm applying morality onto it, that it's good or bad. I am simply analyzing what's going on. So yesterday we had a debate on the channel, and we had a content creator and a woman come on. And one of the things they spoke about was that many pickup artists and PUAs have a 3-date rule, where if a woman does not sleep with a man on a 3-date rule, the men are instructed to move on. I've heard Myron say this. Now, why is that? Before we judge it and we say that is a terrible thing, degeneracy, men are problem solvers. And what men don't want to be is in a position where their wife is not attracted to them. So some men see the easiest solution to be, she has this amount of time to sleep with me, or I am going to assume that she's not attracted to me.
And also she'll be in the frame. You see what I'm saying? She'll be in frame. The reason that we back in the day we had the 3 days rule is because the 3-date rule is that after that you look like a loser, because you recognize that a lot of these females, they have a one-night stand, and you can tell. You can tell also by the chat test as well, right? The chat test is a good way to notice how many body counts the female has, right? Some of the females, they don't have a lot of body counts. They tend to be very easy outgoing. The ones that have a high body count, they have the tendency to have a higher chat test. And the reason is because they have more experience, right? So you need to just go through more ways to dodge those bullets, which is a waste of time, guys. It's a complete waste of time. But she's just making you wait, but at the same time she's just giving the cat to somebody else that same day that she should making you wait. And they think that we don't know that. That's what the pickup artists figured out early on. The waiting game, guys. And what happened? They were right. Because as soon as you leave, they don't contact you back. You see? As soon as you leave, they never contact you. That means that they were already with another person. And they contact you back, that means there was some interest. Otherwise, there was none. That's what the pickup artists, they recognize that. If they haven't give you any type of punani by the 3rd week, it's not going to happen. Oh, unless she's going to be in frame. So you have to have, that's why a lot of them, they said you have to have an abundant mindset. And when you have an abundant mindset, you start seeing those kind of patterns.
I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm saying that is a solution that many men have come up with. So I wanted to read an article by Rollo Tomasi talking about genuine desire. And I want to talk about what that is. So this is called the desire dynamic. It's on therationalmale.com. You cannot negotiate desire. This is a very simple principle that most men and the vast majority of women are willfully ignorant of. One of the most common personal problems I've been asked for advice on the last 10 years is some variation of, how do I get her back? Usually this breaks down into men seeking some sort of methodology to return his relationship to an earlier state where a previously passionate woman couldn't keep her hands off of him. 6 months into a comfortable familiarity and the thrill is gone. but in truth, it's the genuine desire that is gone. It's often at this stage that a man will resort to negotiation. Sometimes this can be as subtle as him progressively doing things for her in hopes that she'll reciprocate with the same sexual fervor that they used to have. So this is where you see women like Katy Perry on that podcast saying that her husband has to do chores in order to get her to have sex with him.
Wow.
She is not actually attracted to him.
No.
And so he has to negotiate the attraction. Other times, a married couple may go to counseling to resolve their issues and negotiate terms for her sexual compliance. He'll promise to do the dishes and a load of laundry more in exchange for her feigned sexual interest in him. Yet, no matter what terms are offered, no matter how great an external effort he makes, so deserving of reward, the genuine desire is not there for her. In fact, she feels worse for not having the desire after such efforts were made for her compliance.
And the way a man thinking, like I'm simple, he thinking like, oh, if I do what she's telling me, if I do this, I'm gonna get what I want. So a guy is thinking like this, but a female is not thinking like that. The female's thinking like, why are you failing to be my man? Why are you failing? I'm telling you, I'm giving you a test, right? This is from the primer level. I'm giving you a test to show me whether or not you're my man. Please be my man. And he's not recognizing that. Because back in the days, a lot of these kind of behaviors were already passed on. But all of a sudden, we got to the 20th century, in the mid-20th century, we got too comfortable. We'll start coming in. We didn't think a lot of these stuff were that important. And here we are. Where you have a guy being manipulated by his wife just to get the box. And on top of that, she will not give you the box, and she will resent you, she will cheat on you, divorce you, put you inside alimony and child support. Guys, and this is something that a lot of guys, I'm glad that we're talking about this. Chest test is like a science. You have to study that stuff. Chest test is a science. You have to understand the nature of the chest test. Chest test is basically the female subconscious to determine whether or not if you're still the man. That's what it is. If you are still the man. And a lot of these guys don't understand this.
Negotiated desire only ever leads to obligated compliance. This is why her post-negotiation sexual response is so often lackluster and the source of even further frustration on his part. She may be more sexually available to him, but the half-hearted experience is never the same when they first met and there was no negotiation, just spontaneous desire for each other. From a male perspective, and particularly that of an uninitiated beta male, negotiation of desire seems like a rational solution to the problem. Men tend to innately rely on deductive reasoning, otherwise known as an if-then logic stream. The code is something like this. I need sex, plus women have the sex I want, plus query women ask women about their conditions for sex, plus meet their prerequisites for sex equals the sex I want. So This is also when men try to qualify to women for their lists. They're essentially, even though women will sleep with broke musicians, personal trainers, men that don't have anything together, right? Okay, so make it make sense. It's simple economics, but built on a foundation that relies on a woman's accurate self-evaluations. The genuine desire they used to experience at the onset of their relationship was predicted upon a completely unknown set of variables. Overtly communicating a desire for reciprocal desire creates obligation and sometimes even ultimatums. Genuine desire is something a person can come to or be led to on their own volition. You can force a woman by threat to comply with behaving in a desired manner, but you cannot make her want to behave that way. A prostitute will F you for an exchange. It doesn't mean that she wants to.
Good point.
Whether a long-term relationship or one-night stands, strive for genuine desire in your relationships. Half of the battle is knowing you want to be with a woman who wants to please you, not one who feels obligated to. You will never draw this genuine desire from her by overt means, but you can covertly lead her to this genuine desire. The trick is provoking real desire and keeping her ignorant of your intent to provoke it. Real desire is created by her thinking it's something she wants, not something she has to do. So I think the most important sentence here is that genuine desire is when women want to listen to you or they want to please you, not that they feel like they have to. Now, why is this important? Because there is a debate going on Twitter right now. And the question is, women feel genuine desire for a very small percentage of men. It's rare. What do we do as a society moving forward? Do women compromise on their type and marry men they're not attracted to? And as a man, do you want a woman to marry you if she's not attracted to you? The reason I ask this is because, and she's been on the show.
There we go. Here we go.
There's a woman named Lori talking about how she did not initially have genuine desire for her husband, but they stuck it out, and now they've been happily married for years. So
When I first met him, I won't tell you how he was dressed or anything because I don't want to embarrass him, but I was not attracted physically to him. But there weren't those butterflies and the things that I thought should be there with a man that I was supposedly in love with. And he said to me, "How would you like to be Mrs. Alexander?" And I said, "Sure." That was it. No ring, no going on his knee, no nothing, And I wasn't that excited though. And we argued a lot about everything. We didn't get along that great. I felt like he stole my joy. I don't know what was wrong with me. And so I went on my wedding day, and none of those butterflies and excitement. I'd go to my bridal showers, and none of that. It was just like this emptiness to me. It's like, why don't I have that in me? I don't like this. I want to have butterflies and so excited. But we discussed that divorce would never be in our vocabulary. So we got married, and the first 20 years were rough because I was still critical. So now that I've been married almost 44 years, I can tell you, women, that love is not an emotion. If that is a really shaky, unstable ground to build your marriage upon. So anyway, women, remember, just because you've maybe lost the butterflies and the emotions and the feelings for your husband, that's not love. Well, I'm going to be going to church soon, and I will learn in silence with all submission.
Okay, so I listen to this and I don't hear anything that's innately wrong, right? We don't want divorce. Divorce is bad for children. Most men or most women cannot marry men that they're attracted to. There are just not enough to go around. When we look at who women select for sex, there are simply not enough. So the question is to men, would you be happy with this kind of marriage? Some men may say yes, some men may say no.
Damn, I don't know about you guys, but Obi, you need to have somebody that has you need somebody that has genuine desire for a man. The fact that you have to go out and say that stuff, man, it's bad, I'm telling you, back in the day, it seems like they didn't have any option. They had to even marry guys that they were not attracted to. Or hypergamy was not even that inflated. Both arguments can be made. Hypergamy was suppressed to a position where if a guy already have a house, have a car, if I can provide for me, okay, that's enough. That's all I need, right? Now you have to have car, you have to have a bunch of stuff, and you still are not gonna lock it in. It's not gonna be locked in. So you don't even have that security, because then on top of that, the real problem is that she has to go to work. Now her hypergamy nature is gonna go to her boss, and from their boss to the state. The state is the highest final boss, let's put it that way, for the hypergamy. And you cannot, like Lord Tomasi says, you cannot over alpha the state. Of those guys that just want to vote a certain way because even that she's is conservative, she's still a woman, but that woman's conservative. Think about the long run, guys. Think about the long run. We have to make sure that we have to go back to the patriarchy. Patriarchy is needed for protect your kids, guys. What happening right now in LA? Look at the leaders. Mafia, Alphabet, DEIs. It's a mix of wokeism and modern witches. We cannot do that. We have to lead, guys. We have to lead. And it's going to be rough, but we have to do it. This is how I think we can create, in the long run, genuine desire. Because right now what we have is kind of a lie. Females enter the workforce. We create an inflation of wealth. But it's not real wealth. See, it's not real. We just simply divided the income of one person too. So we have to now enter the game and make sure that we play. We have to be part of the game. We cannot just simply go another generation thinking that's going to be fixed. Nah. But let me know what you guys see in the comment section below. Like always, I'll see you in the next one.